just today, Ms. Claire Pierangelo, the U.S. Consul General to Nigeria. She was live here at Channels Television's global headquarters today, where she conveyed the U.S. deep wishes for the forthcoming elections to reflect the will of the people. She spoke with our political correspondent, Sheon Kimaloye.
So much for joining us on the program.
Thank you for having me, Shannon. I appreciate it.
I know you have your eyes on the election, the process, the conduct, and how things are being done. You had visited Bayelsa State a few days ago. Let me ask, what did you find out?
Well, let me first by saying, you know, what the United States hopes to see in Bayelsa State or anywhere in Nigeria is elections that are free, fair, transparent, free from violence, and above all, that reflect the will of the people of Nigeria. So, you know, peaceful and credible elections are going to be key to development of Nigeria. And the upcoming Bayelsa government election provides a channel for its citizens to choose who's going to lead it into the future. I was in Bayelsa a few weeks ago, and I had a good opportunity to meet with a number of different actors to talk about this particular message, but also to see what preparations were underway. And I think really to make the point that free and fair elections are the responsibility of each and every citizen, the responsibility of the political parties, the responsibility of the government, and that they're going to be key to a stable and prosperous Nigeria, and a government that has the trust of the Nigerian people. These are all key elements that we discussed.
It's interesting that you visited a few weeks ago. Is the United States Consul office going to be sending a monitoring group to Bayelsa to monitor the elections, to observe the elections?
Yes, we will. And that was also what we previewed with the local authorities there, that we're going to be out there observing the election, in addition to other foreign missions and other international organizations and local Nigerian civil society groups. We'll be on the ground working closely with those colleagues and our partners in an attempt to observe the elections and to help contribute to a peaceful process. As I mentioned earlier, I think it's an opportunity for the Bayelsans to exercise their right to vote, right? Their right to their franchise, to shape their future and to select their own leaders. And it's critical that we are present, that other organizations are present, and that particularly Nigerian organizations and citizens are present to observe the elections to try to ensure that they're free, fair, transparent, and free from violence. Also, just as important it's critical that the Independent National Electoral Commission is able to work in an environment that allows it to do its job, so that it's free from pressure or intimidation or violence against its officials as well.
So, I mean, sadly, yesterday, 3 people were killed in Nembe area of Bayelsa State. And we hear over 30,000 police officers are going to be deployed for this election. From what you saw on the ground and the preparations that you're hearing, from what some of the observers you are sending to the field are going to be given to you, from what you've seen in 2019 election, are you comfortable about the preparation so far in terms of security? Do you have your concerns?
Well, in our discussions with the local police and the local security forces there, they outlined for us their preparations. And they are taking massive preparations. They're bringing in security folks, they're bringing in police folks, they're deploying them throughout the state. I think the real challenge for them and the real question is, are they going to be able to maintain the peaceful atmosphere? But it's not just the security forces who are responsible for a peaceful atmosphere in Bayelsa. We also talked to the political parties. We talked to the political candidates. We stressed to them that it really is incumbent upon them as leaders to also send the message to their followers that they're responsible for keeping peace in Bayelsa as well. And so we're hoping that all those actors will contribute to providing a secure environment. There has been some violence. We hope that that's not going to continue. And we just really call on all actors to participate. It's important for the average Nigerian citizen to get out and vote as well, and to observe and to help contribute to a peaceful atmosphere. The U.S. government since 1999 has always assisted Nigeria in its elections process with strengthening their electoral process through our diplomacy and our programs, seeking to achieve three main objectives. And the first is to support a free and fair electoral process in Nigeria. These are all things that the Nigerians want for themselves. Second, to prevent and mitigate electoral violence. And third, to expand Nigerian civil and political engagement. As a result of that work, we think that there's been expansion of Nigerian civil society's participation. There's been support for election monitoring efforts and political engagement, and political parties are being more encouraged to engage in peaceful process. These are all really important elements to creating an environment.
Let me get your final thought on this conversation, and it's going to be your thoughts and your final word on the program to voters. Today's Thursday, Friday, and Saturday they are out there to vote. Your thoughts to voters?
Well, my thoughts to the citizens of Bayelsa and to any Nigerian citizen who has an upcoming election is, this is your country. It belongs to each and every one of you. And if you don't get out and vote, you're giving away not just your vote, you're giving away your right to participate in how your country is going to be run in the future. And I think this is particularly important for those groups that have been marginalized in the past, the young, women, and disabled. Women are more than 50% of this country. The youth are coming up, will be the majority of this country. They have to know that this is their country, their right to participate, and their right to shape their futures. Not to feel hopeless that there's a political control that they have no participation in. If they participate, they will be able to have some influence on how their future turns out. So my advice, my thoughts, my hope is that people will not succumb to intimidation, will not succumb to political shenanigans, and will go out and exercise their right to vote.
Claire Pieangelo, United States Consul General. I guess you've been having a nice time here in Nigeria and monitoring the electoral process here.
Oh, I've had a good time so far in Nigeria. It's a fascinating country with folks that are very committed to the success of their own country. And as the United States, that's really all we want to see here. We want to help Nigeria succeed. It is one of the largest democracies in the world, not just in Africa. It is really important that Nigeria sets an example for itself and for those around it. And anything we can do to support it in its democratic process, we're here to do.
Ms. Pieangelo, thank you so much for joining us on the program. Find time to have some Nigerian jollof rice for the rest of the evening. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much for having us.
Claire Pieangelo, United States Consul General, speaking to us on the Bayelsa election.
Jollof rice is Shayum's favorite. Well, you can listen to the United States Consul General's view on hate speech and the U.S.'s position on perpetrators of electoral irregularities on the news at 10 tonight. Well, that's the program. Many thanks for watching. I'm Millicent Nwoka. Have a good night.